right now, and it's the Manchester United versus Fulham preview chats on Leo Chats Football. Let's go. Okay, let's just start off with a poll here. So obviously Manchester United are taking Fulham this weekend. Manchester United, Michael Carrick versus Marco Silva. What a game that's going to be, especially after the game against Arsenal this past weekend. So it's going to be a crucial one for Manchester United. Okay, let's go with the can Manchester United beat Fulham. Beat Fulham. Can Man United beat Fulham? There we go. That's the poll for today. And I'll let you know my thoughts soon. Let's go back with that one. All right. So personally, I feel like Manchester United can beat Fulham. You know, even though Fulham are in good form right now, they are sitting 7th in the Premier League. They're sitting at a European position right now, so it's going to be difficult. It's going to be really difficult, but hopefully we can do one over them this weekend. So yes, let's see how that's going to go. Okay. Let me know your thoughts down below. We got Michael Carrick looking to extend Manchester United's unbeaten run to 7 games. 7 games, that is. That is a milestone for Manchester United. That's a lot of games where Manchester United have looked hard to be defeated at. So hopefully we can go out there this weekend and actually win at Old Trafford. So I'm really hoping that things work out for Michael Carrick. And Michael Carrick still has his 100% win record with Manchester United in his second spell. So let's see what he can do. And personally, I feel like it's going to be a very good game this weekend. Very intense game. We shouldn't take Fulham lightly because we know just how Fulham can turn up when they want to. Like right now, they are sitting at 7th, just 2 points behind Liverpool, that is. So Marco Silva is actually taking Fulham some way this season, you know, and in Fulham's behalf, it's good to see them doing well. You know, they've got some good players, you know, like your Harry Wilsons and Iwobi, you know, Raul Jimenez. So they've got a good team. They've got a pretty good team. So we have to be wary of what's to come this weekend because the last time we played Fulham, we drew to them. We drew to Fulham and it was a pretty intense game. So yeah, let's see what we can do at Old Trafford, especially after coming from 2 big wins against Manchester City, against Arsenal. You know, we have to keep the momentum going as Manchester United. We got to keep that light switch on. So it's going to be very tense here. And I'm very nervous for this game, you know, more nervous than I was against City, against Arsenal. So it's going to be very tense for us. But I'm positive. I'm positive because, like I said, Michael Carrick is sitting with a 100% win record here. And I feel like he can take that record on and on, you know. So we got Fulham now. Then after Fulham, we have Spurs once again, back to facing Spurs. But this weekend, we focus on Fulham, you know, and we've got our few injuries as well. Obviously, you know, Patrick Dorgu, no Matthias de Ligt, no Joshua Zirkzee. So we have to consider those as well. But yes, the team is still looking good, and Players are still looking sharp, We're not lacking goals up front, so things are looking well on for Manchester United. And the positive note here is that we're the only team in the Premier League who's still got a 5-game unbeaten run. So 5 games unbeaten for Manchester United. Our last 5 games, we've been unbeaten. So that's good. That is good for us. It's positive. We can take that with. And yeah, let's do it at Old Trafford, behind our fans, behind the Stretford end. If you guys have just joined the chat, the live, just drop a comment. Don't forget to subscribe if you're a new subscriber. If you're a new follower, that is. Just let me know. And yes, Fulham are 7th and in good position here, guys. We have to win this one. It's our second game, our reverse fixture against them. They managed to take a point from us, or 2 points, that is, from us back at the Craven Cottage. So we have to respond. We have to do something about it, and I feel like this is the weekend for it because we're on form right now. I would consider us being on form. So if Michael Carrick goes out there and loses, he suffers a defeat, I feel like the fans will be against him. And yeah, that'll be terrible. So it's going to be a very interesting weekend because we've also got the protest happening this weekend with the United protest happening towards the higher ups, the Glazers, the Ineos. So it's going to be interesting because that's got to happen regardless. We have to protest. We have to make sure that our club is heading in the right direction here. So I'm hoping that things turn out, the way that they should, and things change for this football club, for the better of the club, because us as fans, as supporters, we deserve that. We deserve that. We deserve a Manchester United for the people, This isn't a business institution, it's a football club. So I hope that things change after this weekend with regards to the whole protest happening outside of Old Trafford. I'm just glad that that's the case. And we play the game on Sunday, 4 p.m. It's going to be a very tense game for us, guys. So drop down your comments in the chat below. Let me know what your score predictions are going to be. Can Manchester United beat Fulham? An on-form Fulham, Marcus Silva's Fulham. And yeah, let's see what happens. United are 4th currently. If it happens that we go out there and we actually lose to Fulham, and then Chelsea win their game, Liverpool win their game, then that means Manchester United are going to drop all the way to 6th once again, because those two teams are very close on points behind us, your Chelsea's, your Liverpool. So I'm praying, I'm hoping that things go our way. And yeah, let's keep the momentum, because it's been a while now since we have won 3 games in a row. So hopefully we can even go to 4 or 5 games in a row, and we can have the United strand actually have that hair chopped. We can actually get to that record, 5 wins in a row, because it's been a while now since we've gotten those 5 wins in a row. I'm hoping that works out for us. And then there's also a stat saying that we have only lost 1 of our last 20 Premier League games versus Fulham. 1 loss in 20 against Fulham in the Premier League. That is exceptional. That's how the record should be. We shouldn't be losing to teams like Fulham, regardless of whatever form that they're in at the moment. 1 in 20 is something that actually shocked me, So yeah, we just have to go out there, make sure that we keep that record that way as Manchester United, bring back that Manchester United DNA. And then the record still goes on, as we've played 42 games against Fulham in total. 42 games, and we've had 30 wins. They've had 3 wins in those 42 games. We've had 30. So that's a pretty good record for Manchester United. 42 games, 30 wins for Manchester United to Fulham's 3. So, no, it's actually 4 in fact. 4 wins for Fulham, 30 games for Manchester United in 42 outings. And then the draws come as 8 draws for both teams. So we really have to consider Fulham, We really have to consider Fulham. And then a total of 91 goals for Manchester United to Fulham's 40. All right. And we're averaging a 2 goal rate towards them. So it's looking quite healthy, as Manchester United. But yes, this weekend we have to win, guys, because if we lose this one, like I've said in previous shows, if we lose this one, then things are just going to go downhill from there. People are going to start losing their trust towards Michael Carrick. And if you just joined now, guys, please don't forget to comment down below, drop down your thoughts, vote. Can Manchester United beat Fulham this weekend? Personally, I'm saying that Manchester United will beat Fulham this weekend. I've got a good feeling on that, guys. And I have all the reasons to be feeling that way because we've been on a high as of late. Beating Manchester City, beating Arsenal. So, yes. Let's not forget that also Fulham did knock us out of the FA Cup last season. So, yes, Fulham are ones to shock you. They do know how to turn up when they want to turn up. And that's what we have to consider. Fulham know how to turn up when they want to turn up. Hopefully that's not this weekend. Hopefully that's not this weekend. Also, we've got Bruno Fernandes, who enjoys scoring against Fulham. He's got 5 goals versus Fulham ever since he's faced them throughout his time. So it's 5 goals against Fulham. Hopefully he can score this weekend or contribute some way, which he has been. He has been having a terrific season for Manchester United. So yes, guys, please comment down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking on the chat. Big game this for Manchester United. And the win probability here, it's saying that Manchester United are sitting at 61% to Fulham's 18% with a 21% draw probability for this weekend. So, yes, the odds are in our favor here for this weekend as Manchester United take on Fulham. And I'm so glad that it's at Old Trafford. We need this momentum going our way. So it's going to be a nice game for us. And it's also stated that Michael Carrick is on his way to become the 5th United manager to remain unbeaten in his first 5 league games. So he's on his way to becoming the 5th United manager to remain unbeaten in his first 5 league games. He's obviously it's going to his 3rd right now this weekend. Keep my fingers crossed that he gets that win. Make it 3 out of 3 for Michael Carrick. He's got to keep that 100% win record. Okay, a win for us takes us to 41 points this weekend. So we win, we get the 41 points, we stay in that top 4, and vamonos, things happen. We lose, we go to 6th, and then Chelsea and Liverpool win, they go above us, So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really, really interesting. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Hopefully you guys are having a good evening, a good day, all the way from South Africa. But yeah, that's what's happening. Okay, then we also got, like I said, it's going to be, we've only lost once in our last 20 games against Fulham. So 1 loss in 20 is inevitable, guys. It's good. It's good. All right. So hopefully we can end the season also in that top four. You know, I was thinking about fifth throughout the season, but top four looks and sounds good for us. And then we've got Fulham's team here. So they've got a pretty good team here with Leno as the goalkeeper. This is their previous game. This is the previous lineup, sorry, against Brighton. So they play with a four at the back. So it's a similar formation to the Manchester United one with the four at the back. And then they've got the two midfielders with Harry Wilson. Guys, Harry Wilson is a major threat. He is a major threat for Fulham. So we've got to keep wary of Harry Wilson. You know, he's deadly with the ball. So he can change the game around. He can win the game for himself and for that team. So watch out for Harry Wilson, yeah, guys. He's a goal scorer. He's a playmaker. His goal contributions are up there. You know, so him playing in that right wing position is going to be interesting against Manchester United. And he'll be taking on Luke Shaw. So hopefully Luke Shaw is ready for the test against Harry Wilson. And there's also Smith Rowe, who we know can be dangerous. And he's got a lot of talent as well. Emil Smith Rowe, he scored against us last time out, whereas we drew to Fulham. And guys, if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Leo Chats Football. And then there's also Raul Jimenez. We know what a threat he can be for Fulham, so we have to make sure that we are there, you know. And I feel very comfortable with having the likes of Lisandro Martinez and Harry Maguire as our two centre-back pairings. Even though losing out on Matthias de Ligt is a big concern. You know, Matthias de Ligt is Matthias de Ligt. When he's fit, it's great. But right now he's out, obviously, with the back issue, and he seemed like he couldn't recover while he was out during rehab. So yes, but to be honest with you, I'm pretty much happy with the fact that we got Lisandro Martinez and Harry Maguire sitting as our two centre back pairings. You know, I feel more calm, more relaxed with them, and that's good for us. You know, even though we still got a Aiden Heaven as well as Lenny Yoro out there, those are ones for the future for us. But right now, what's holding us stable is Lisandro Martinez and Harry Maguire. We are having more mistakes from them. You know, they're much more experienced as well. And I feel like we finally have some structure at the back, you know, in that back four. Then we also have our Diogo Dallo. You know, he's been having quite a lot of mistakes as of late, but he seemed like he came clutch during the Arsenal game, which was good. I'm happy with his performance there. Hopefully that he can continue performing well for us. You know, so he's had a bit of a hiccup here and there, which has been annoying, to be honest. So then moving on, like we said, there's still Iwobi for Fulham. He's also some danger player, Fulham and Iwobi. And then there's Calvin Bassey for Fulham, who's also good. He's strong on the ball. Nigerian centre back. He played well during the AFCON. And the reason why Iwobi has been playing in that midfield position as that centre mate is because Lukic has been injured. So no Lukic this weekend, no Muniz that is. So no Muniz, no Lukic for Fulham this weekend. And then we're moving on. And then we've got Kevin on the other wing. So yes, Fulham have a pretty decent side, and they seem to be linking up well. They seem to be gelling up under Marco Silva. So it's interesting. And then we've got our previous game that we had against Fulham at Craven Cottage, where we drew 1-1. I feel like we should have won that game against Fulham. Right? There's been a lot of games where we should have won this season under Ruben Amorim. And we didn't. And we didn't. Okay, but there's no more Ruben Amorim right now, and we're moving on. You know, life moves on. That's how things have to be. Even though I'm still a little bit gutted that we left Ruben Amorim, I was hoping that things were going to work out with him. That's not the case. You know, we are under Michael Carrick right now. So the previous stats for that game against Fulham, we had 13 shots to their 17. So we know Fulham know how to attack. All right, they are not afraid to attack. They're not afraid to play risk football. And that's how they've been. That's why they are seventh on the log right now in the Premier League, because they're a very good team, very structured. And then they also had 3 shots on target last time out. We had 5 shots on target. So yes, it was a pretty even game, but like I said, I still feel like we should have come out victoriously. And then they know how to keep possession as well. That's one thing. They had 51% possession to our 49%. So that was that against Fulham. They know how to keep the ball, and we have to be mindful of that. Even though our position has gotten better now that Michael Carrick has stepped in, because we are playing with an extra midfielder. So it means that we are able to keep the ball, because back then we were only playing with 2 midfielders basically under Ruben Amorim, and that is why we had a lot more less possession, and the stats are showing here against Fulham previously. And then the passes went on as 401 for Fulham to our 384. So yes, Fulham know how to pass the ball. They know how to hold the ball and carry the ball well. So we just have to be patient with that. Like we did against Arsenal, we got to do it again this weekend. You know, like I said, we got to keep that momentum. Um, and then moving on. So hopefully by the end of this weekend, we can maintain in that top 4. You know, that's what we need. We need to maintain in that top 4 as Manchester United. And maybe things will turn in our favor. We can even surpass the likes of Aston Villa or even the Manchester City. You know, I'm just thinking far like that, because I believe in my club. I believe in Manchester United. And Michael Carrick has given me a lot of that. So hopefully things turn out well for us. Okay, and then, like I said, a win for us this weekend takes us to 41 points. 41 points, guys. 41 points. So hopefully the likes of Chelsea, the likes of Liverpool can lose this weekend, so that we can get a sort of a cushion, a sort of a fresh air out there, because they are sitting right behind us. Right behind us. You know, and then we're going to move on. So Fulham have been doing well this season. Fulham have been doing well this season. They still in the FA Cup. They beat Chelsea. You know, they beat Chelsea. They beat Brighton, like I said. So Fulham are doing super good. I just hope that they don't turn up against us. I'm praying that Fulham don't turn up against Manchester United. Can't have that, guys. Can't. Okay, then we're going to have a look at the Manchester United team as well. Obviously, we've got Patrick Dorgu, who's out injured. We have to consider that. And I've come to terms with the team now that he's injured. I feel like I don't see Shea Lacey starting. I don't see Michael Carrick picking Shea Lacey to start in that left wing position. All right, because Shea Lacey is one who loves to cut in, and he's obviously left-footed, so he is most likely going to be a substitution for Amad Diallo. He was not in that squad against Arsenal last weekend, so I see us playing. I see this game as a Benjamin Sesko type of game, you know. Fulham are a team who also like to sit back at times, so they They do know how to attack, but also sit back as well as a team and defend. So this would be a game for Benjamin Sesko, meaning that we are going to have to give some players a rest, even though we do play one game a week. So I feel like Brian Mbuemo maybe, who knows, Casemiro, he's been playing a lot this season, and considering his age, so he could be rested for this weekend and make a cameo in that second half. But either way, Michael Carrick knows best. I'm very confident with him. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes starts, Kobe Mino starts. He's young, he's still got fresh legs in him. And then that back four is going to remain the same. I feel like it's going to remain the same unless Michael Carrick decides to give the likes of Lisandro Martinez a rest, or even a Maguire, for Aiden Haven. So we will see. We'll see what happens. And Luke Shaw would probably even get a rest this weekend. So we will see what happens. But like I said, every game from here on is almost like a final to us because we have to win. We have to win, guys. All right, so we are on our 23rd game, moving on to our 24th game. So games are coming in thick and fast, and I'm just happy that we're in that top four position. Played five, won two, drew three. So that's where we are as Manchester United, and we've got a good record right now. We on our way to our seventh unbeaten game of the season. So seventh game unbeaten. 7 game in a row without a defeat for Manchester United. That is good, guys. That is positive. That is something positive to take with. So hopefully things are there for us. And if you just joined the live, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment. Let me know how you feel about this weekend's game against Fulham. All right. Let me know your thoughts. So it's going to be a very interesting one. And like I said, my hopes are higher. I feel like we're going to go out there and beat Fulham. And we've got a on-form Brian Mbuemo. We know players like Bruno Fernandes can turn up. We know players like Amad Diallo can turn up. So things are looking good. Seny Larmans is looking good. He might just get a clean sheet. Who knows? And one of the positives that I was happy about with the Arsenal game is the way we defended corners as well. So we're not as reckless as we used to be with set pieces, So yes, there are positives. Otherwise, let me know down in the comment section, in the live chat, what your thoughts are. What are your predictions? What do you predict Manchester United beating Fulham this weekend? What are your score predictions? Personally, I'm going to give Manchester United a 2-0 against Fulham at Old Trafford. I see us winning 2-0. The same way we got a clean sheet against Manchester City is the same way we will be getting a clean sheet against Fulham. Hopefully it all works out, let it all work out against Fulham. So hopefully, what are your score predictions for this weekend? So yes, Manchester United versus Fulham, and the win probability is on our side with 61% to Fulham's 18%, and then there's the draw, which is 21%. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. We tend to be winning the big games against the big six, and then when we come to teams like Fulham, the lower teams, we just end up choking. For some reason, we just end up going back to default mode against the likes of Fulham, against the likes of Wolverhampton, which doesn't make sense to me, because if we're capable of turning up against those big teams, we should be able to turn up against the likes of Fulham. You get me? But yeah, Manchester United must just stay positive, keep that DNA going, We believe in Michael Carrick, and that's how it should be. Because all it takes is one loss for Michael Carrick, and then the whole fan base, so a majority of the fan base turns out against Michael Carrick. You know how the fan base are. They are inconsistent like that. They never back the manager. But let's see what happens. Personally, I'm backing Michael Carrick. If he goes out there and takes the permanent manager role, I'm going to be okay with that. He's given us all the reasons to back him, and that's what we need to do. Okay? Back our manager. That's what matters. Then moving on here. Personally, I can't have Chelsea go above Manchester United this weekend or a Liverpool. We can't. We have to keep consistent. It's only been a week since we've been above them. So, Michael Carrick, please do your thing. Please do your thing this weekend. Keep the team gelled up, keep the team's momentum up. All goes down to the players right now. As a coach, as a manager, there's so much you can do. At the end of the day, it's the players that play the football. They have to go out there and show us that they know how to keep consistency. And that's what we need from them. Consistency from Manchester United. If you guys just joined the live right now, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click above, let me know if Manchester United can beat Fulham, according to your opinion. I personally feel like Manchester United can. Like I said, a 2-0 victory is what I see here. So hopefully things work out this weekend. But yes, Marco Silva is a hard man to defeat here because he's a good coach. At a stage, I wanted him to coach Manchester United, to manage United. He's that good. He's that good. I feel like he deserves a big team. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, this is the weekend where we can actually win 3 games in a row. When was the last time we won 3 games in a row, guys? It's been a long time where we've won 3 games in a row. And I cannot believe it that we're the only team right now that hasn't lost in the previous 5. So wow, what a record that is for us. We haven't lost in our previous 5, and we're the only team right now doing so. So that is good. That's good. If we don't win, we either draw, and if we're not drawing, we're winning. And that's the spirit that we got to maintain right now. I don't want to see any losses. I've witnessed a lot of losses at Manchester United. Moving on. Okay, let's see what happens next. Who knows? Maybe Michael Carrick will start with a totally different team this time out. Because it's been 2 games where he's picked the same teams. Ever since he started, he's been consistent with that at least, picking the same squad, and that's what we need. Against City, he started with the same team. Against Arsenal, he had the same team as well. So coming in this weekend, let's see what he can do. Hi there, Cody. Good evening. It's going to be a 3-0 United, I guess. Hopefully 3-0, One thing we have to do is keep a clean sheet. And we know how we struggle with clean sheets. I was actually surprised that we kept a clean sheet against Manchester City. And we could have even done the same against Arsenal, but we know just the way Arsenal like playing football. Very, very unprofessional, I would say, because of the way they like going on about the corners, corner FC, that is. But yes, 3-0 would be nice, it would be good for Sene Lamans as well. So hopefully we can do that. And guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new to the chat. So yes, like I was saying, we're on a good run right now. We're on a good run right now. Like Fulham are 7th on the table, and they're just as good. We would like to have the league back. Yes, we would like to have the lick back, but like I was saying, I'm very happy with Lisandro Martinez and Maguire as our centre back pairing because I feel like they're very strong together. They got a good understanding, like you saw against Arsenal. You know, they sort of complement each other that way. So we will see, but I'm not taking out any credits to Delict because he's a world class centre back in my opinion. We saw that at Bayern, we saw that at Ajax, we saw that at Juventus. So he needs to maintain fit. He needs to maintain fit. But it seems like he's struggling at the moment with that back injury that he's got. Apparently, he went to rehab and things just weren't working out for him at the time. So he's gone back to being injured, that is. And if Maguire, I mean, if the Ligt does come back, who do you pair him with? Do you take out Maguire? Do you take out Lisandro Martinez? So it's a difficult one, eh? Seems like a good headache for Michael Carrick there. But it's always good to obviously have Matthias de Ligt there. We need depth in that position. Martinez, centre mid, de Ligt, centre back. Martinez is a number 6. I mean, he's done it before and there was nothing wrong with it. I hear you, Cody. I hear you, bro. And I feel like we need to go out there and actually get a proper 6. Because why are we shifting players now? We're Manchester United, even though that sounds pretty decent. But that would work out, meaning that we would have to take out Casemiro because yes, Martinez would therefore be a 6, and he would have to play against next to Kobe Mino, that is. So it's possible, Carrick being a former midfielder would know how to work that out. We saw Amarim try it out, and it seemed like it worked. I really enjoyed Martinez's cameo in that position. So Cody says no water, no Baleba, no Elliot. I'm thinking Kamavinga. Hey, Kamavinga would be a good one for us, young and quality. He's a quality player, but now I'm also thinking about his injury, problem. He's got a history of injuries, especially now at Real Madrid. So, and coming to a Premier League where there's a lot more physical battles happening, especially in that midfield, would he be the one to resolve our issues? I'm not too sure, but who knows? Maybe with a different sort of structure, things could work out for him. A different medical team that is to the one of Real Madrid's, but he's been injured way too many times, so I'm not too sure. And I don't think Real Madrid are willing to sell Kamavinga right now. So who knows? I'd rather go for a Chouameni than a Kamavinga. Chouameni knows how to stay fit. His injury history isn't that bad. So we'll see. Yes, exactly. And players from La Liga are known to struggling in the Premier League. But if you're quality, you stand quality, I feel like you can play anyway. So let's see what happens. But right now, I personally love Adam Wharton in that number 6 role at Manchester United. Young, strong. It reminds me of a Declan Rice. I don't want to bring that name up, but it reminds me of a young Declan Rice at West Ham. He reminds me a lot of Declan Rice, and he can turn out world class. Under a good system, especially under a good system, depending on who our manager is. So I'm hearing Thomas Tuchel. Who knows? Michael Carrick might even stay. So yes, but I think we are only going to be getting that CDM once we finalize the whole managerial situation, because there's no use getting a player right now who's going to be playing under Michael Carrick for a short while. Then we get a new manager that comes in and doesn't sort of, you know, doesn't sort of enjoy the player or pre-improvement sentiments. So I'm thinking Joao Gomez from Wolves. Joao Gomez is a decent one. You know, he's a good player. And signing players from Wolves has been actually quite positive because look at the likes of Vitinha. You know, there's been players from Wolves that have gone out and actually turned out world class. So I like Joao Gomez. He's also Brazilian. So yeah, maybe he's the one. But I just feel like Manchester United are going to surprise us. You know, they always do. But right now in January, I don't think we are going to be signing anybody. I mean, the transfer window ends now in the 2nd of Feb, and we're running out of time, mate. We are running out of time. That's what's happening. Like I was saying in yesterday's live, we are busy focusing on players' contract renewals, you know, like your Bruno Fernandes, your Kobe Mainus, and we're just focused on keeping our players rather than selling. And we know in order to sign these players, we've got to offload players. You can only sign when the budget is in. Right now, we don't have the budget. As big as we are as a football club, we're not playing Champions League, so let's see what happens. I feel like De Jong is something of 2 seasons back because I remember Manchester United being linked to him, but then De Jong chose to stay. So I don't think he will change his mind now. But if things do happen, I just hope that we can get someone that can patch the whole situation up. Because when was the last time we actually got a quality central defensive midfielder, you know? So it's been a minute now, and the fact that Casemiro is leaving just makes things more panic-wise for us. But just know that we are going to be signing. We have to, you know, we have to, especially if we get a new manager. We can't just leave him hanging, you know, because then why are we even getting a new manager? For what reason? If you're not going to be backing him up. So we will see, and hopefully they come steady and fast. We obviously need a new winger as well. We need a new left back, a new right back. I would start off by selling Diego Dallo because I do not fancy Diego Dallo. I'm not going to lie to you. He shouldn't be playing for Manchester United. McTominay, yes, he's also spoke highly of Manchester United. I just don't see him returning. So I don't see him returning. And McTominay at number 6 isn't a wise thing to do because we tried that and we sort of didn't get a lot from him. He's more of a progression player, so he's got to be playing a little bit more upfield, you know, rather than sitting back. We know he's a goal scorer as well, so he's a box to box. Number 8, Lenny Yoro. Why don't you like Lenny Yoro? I feel like Lenny Yoro is one for the future. But now things have changed in terms of that whole centre back situation. You see that Aiden Heaven has become sort of above Lenny Yoro in terms of form, in terms of just quality, you know. So that's also been interesting. I feel like Lenny Yoro is just out of form right now, but we know just the type of quality he is. And under Ruben Amorim, he wasn't, you know, playing to his best potential. So hopefully we can see a change under Michael Carrick. Sal Yoro. Um, we'll make quite a profit with Lenny Yoro. You know, he's French, he's still young, and he plays for the national team. So we would get quite a lot out of him. I feel like a loan would be best, but loaning Euro would just, it wouldn't sit well with me, you know. I am pro Lenny Euro, so let's see what happens. You'd think that Aiden Heaven would be the one being sent out on loan instead of Lenny Euro. So let's see, because he's very highly rated, very highly rated. Before coming to Manchester United, he was linked to Real Madrid. So we were the ones that actually managed to sign him. So that was that. We are sitting with Lenny Yoro now. And he's not even getting game time. That's the most frustrating thing. Decent centre back, not getting game time. And we're only playing one game a week, you know. How many matches do we have this season? About 41 games. So it's not like we can play every man every weekend. You get me? But yes, a loan would do. I remember when we loaned out Ahmad. I'm so glad that we never sold Ahmad. We loaned out Ahmad to, what was it, to Sunderland. And he just came out, top class. Maybe Lenny Yoro would get the same treatment. So let's see what happens. But this is me for today. And thank you so much for joining the channel. Thank you so much for joining the chats, guys. Manchester United versus Fulham preview. And stay tuned because tomorrow we are back. Same time, same place. Leo Chats Football.